has the pandemic shown the world that it is time to make a major switch to digital trade and e-commerce? And what do you think the banking landscape in particular looks like in a digital age? So, how fast are you going to change? And to be very specific, when are you going to introduce a digital currency at the ECB? The Chinese are ahead of you.
Well, as you know, that's another area that I'm really pushing, and where I think that we have to accelerate the process as much as we can. Yes, China is ahead of us. The PBOC had taken steps about 5 years ago already, 6 years ago actually. That's when they really started, and they have been elaborating, working along, piloting the Chinese way with hundreds of millions of people, trying to use the e-currency that they've developed. So we are working on that. We have issued a paper back in October. We have completed a phase of consultation with those interested in Europe, and we've had a striking number of 8,000 people actually responding to us and saying, okay, we want this, we want that, we want privacy, we want safety, we want guarantee, we want the central banks to be involved. And we're taking all that in, and it will be analyzed in the next couple of months. We will come back to the Governing Council with a, please let us go ahead with it. That's what I hope. We shall see. I think more and more are convinced that this is the way to go. We should have a digital currency which will not exclude banknotes. We should have a digital currency that is respectful of privacy, which is not selling data, which is not exploiting the data of people that are using it. A digital currency that also uses the canal of banks, because banks will be part and parcel in that digital currency launch. And then we will have to, refine it to the point that it is completely safe, secure, and can be used effectively with less cost, more security, as I said, respect for privacy of those that are using it, and on a voluntary basis.
And what's the timing of this? Are we talking, in the next year or two, or is this a kind of, beyond your presidency kind of thing?
Oh, no. My hope is that we can, we look at how long it took China to get there. As I said, they started 6 years ago. They're not live yet. They say that they've been saying for about a year that they're ready to go, but they haven't gone. So I hope less than the time it took them, because hopefully the learning curve will be shorter. Digitalization has accelerated, and we will learn from that. I would say, it's hard to say, but I would say in the next 4 years we should be there. And it's going, I just hope that the audience appreciates that it's not to substitute existing payment means. So those who like banknotes will continue to use their banknotes, but those who want to use digital payment should be able to do so, and we should do it with in mind, stability of the system, because we have to, be careful that it's a mean of payment, not a means of speculation, and cannot expose the safety and the stability of the banking system either. So there are lots of concerns that are out there that we need to address, but I'm certain that we can roll it out.
I can't resist asking you about a separate but somewhat related question of other cryptocurrencies, particularly Bitcoin. I think you once said that Bitcoin's funny business needed proper regulation. And this is a week in which we learned that Tesla holds a lot of Bitcoin and plans to accept payments in it. Is this sensible?
Well, first of all, I think it is not a currency. I'm very sorry to say. I know that some people argue that it has 2 attributes of the 3 that constitute a valid currency, but I think it doesn't. It might have 1. It certainly doesn't have 2, and it doesn't have the stability that would be required in order for it to be a currency. It is in our view and in our analysis of what it is today. It's a digital asset. It's a crypto asset. It's one that was established back in 2009 by libertarians and the hopeful of a completely decentralized universe that would be completely anonymous. I think it has in many ways been exploited in a funny way. Yes, I claim that characteristic because
I can't resist. There's a question from a subscriber, Harry, and I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway. How likely are the world's central banks to hold Bitcoin as part of their reserve currency?
Very unlikely. I think I would say it's out of the question, actually.